Borneo and Sumatra, tropical islands of epic proportions, wild and unpredictable, gigantic and majestic animals somehow thrive alongside each other, captured within a dense jungle. It's a unique playground for the mighty and, well, the misfits, but honestly, around every corner battles are fought. These are the islands of monsters. Thousands of years ago, during the last ice age, these islands were actually one landmass. As climates warmed, sea levels rose, and these separate fragments were formed. Borneo is the world's third largest island. Almost three-quarters is Indonesian territory, with the rest split between Malaysia and Brunei. It is, without a doubt, one of the most biodiverse places on Earth, surrounded by rich waters teeming with tropical life. Extensive mudflats and mangrove habitats fringe these coastal areas. But what really dominates this island is almost 370,000 square kilometers of ancient rainforest. Monsters have been evolving and multiplying in these dark jungles. Where have they come from, and what has allowed so many to thrive in one place? There's a creature that seems perfectly suited to island life, and it's found only here in Borneo. Since being isolated from other monkeys in Asia, they've evolved a very odd body part. The male proboscis monkeys have the biggest noses of all primates, and the alpha has the largest by far. But you know, it's more than just to attract the females. It's a trumpet, and he uses it to establish his authority. When one of your ladies starts eyeing a young intruder, you really need to have a big voice to keep her in check. This roaming bachelor encourages her advances anyway, clearly upsetting the alpha. He retaliates by demonstrating his strength, and the young male soon retreats. Proboscis monkeys have been nicknamed the Dutchman, and it's not just because of their large noses. They're also famous for their huge potbellies. Their stomachs have evolved like fermentation tanks, split into chambers and loaded with bacteria. They can digest even the most undesirable vegetation that would be poisonous to most other animals. A clever trick, really. They can eat almost anything, and that's exactly what they do all day long. These successful monkeys live in large family groups, which definitely has its advantages. There's always someone there to help, well, keep the bugs at bay, and the young have a choice of playmates on hand, but not everyone can join in. Newborn proboscis monkeys have bright blue faces, making them obvious to the rest of the group. Because it's not just their mothers that suckle and care for them, it's any adult female. But these faces aren't just a beacon to their family. Some monsters in this forest are silent stalkers. With large round eyes, a heightened sense of smell and perfect hearing, this beast is acutely aware of what the forest has on offer. The clouded leopard is a skilled, secretive and stealthy predator. Blessed with an exceptionally long tail and flexible joints, they are masters of balance and can move silently through the dense canopy. But, you know, having a loud family has its benefits. With so many watchful eyes and a sophisticated alarm call system, they quickly clear the danger zone. The defeated leopard disappears back into the shadows. The coastal mangroves that these monkeys live in lie at the edge of the island. It's the meeting point between land and sea. This can be a difficult place to survive. Life here is strictly governed by the tides. As the water recedes, it's feeding time for the wealth of animals that live buried underneath the waves. Mudskippers and crabs really make the most of this rich food. With their webbed feet, the monkeys can wade out across the soft mud and enjoy the fresh new leaves. As the tides turn, it's time for the mangrove's residents to batten down the hatches. At high tide, this habitat becomes a network of waterways cutting through the mangrove trees. These murky waters are an ideal hunting ground for a somewhat bizarre-looking reptile, the soft-shelled turtle. Without the protection of a hard shell, he spends most of his time hidden under the sediment. All that's visible is his pig-like snout. Small but sharp eyes keep watch as fish flitter around, completely unaware of his presence. He waits. The cantus, or froghead, is a remarkable turtle. It's a staggering meter in length. In complete contrast to its sluggish cousins, it's actually one of the fastest strikers on the planet, baiting the cobra hands down, and it can deliver a bone-crushing bite. But another danger lurks in the water. The monkeys are faced with a dilemma. They need to cross this river to reach feeding grounds on the other side. Although they're excellent swimmers, the risk is just too high. Crocodiles kill more proboscis monkeys than any other predator, so it's time for a leap of faith. It's a precise calculation to see them across the infested water. One false move could be fatal, and with so much river debris, it's not always easy to judge the best route. It's not just Borneo's coastal areas that are inundated with water. Many channels carve their way through this limestone landscape, absorbing nutrients as they go. Mineral streams are an important life source for another monster in the forest. These beautiful giants are Raja Brooks birdwings, one of the largest butterflies in the world, easily spanning the size of your hand. These newly emerged males have gathered here to warm up their wings. The water is packed full of sodium and potassium salts that are vital for their flight muscles to develop. This male can easily lap up many times his body weight in water, and the excess gets squirted straight out the other end. But it's time well spent. They're amongst the strongest flyers in the butterfly world, and once they take to flight, each butterfly will spend the majority of its life on the wing in his search for a mate. Borneo's rivers and streams are a lifeline for the island's residents, and this water can be traced back to its highest point. Mount Kinabalu, lying on Borneo's Malaysian side, towers above the swampy forests, but its presence influences the whole island. This huge granite plug was pushed up through the surrounding rock millions of years ago, and it's still growing, rising half a centimeter a year. This colossal peak reaches over 4 kilometers into the air. It's home to 5,000 species of plant, more than in the whole of Europe. It's a different world up here. Lower temperatures and thinner soils present challenges to plant life, and they've evolved a variety of coping mechanisms. Some plants in this alien world have developed a new taste. They've become carnivores. Attracted by this pitcher plant's sweet nectar, a fly dances with death dangerously close. Beneath lies a deadly reservoir, a vat of digestive enzymes ready to break down anything unlucky enough to fall in. This trickster's ribbed edge is designed to make prey lose their footing. But the fly takes off just in time. A moth is not so lucky. But pitcher plants are not just agents of death. Over time, this fluid is diluted by rainwater, and the plants are colonized by midges and fly larvae. In return for a safe home, these squatters help to digest the plant's prey. Borneo is in direct line of rain-bearing winds. Each day, rain clouds build up over the forest and are driven upwards by the bulk of Mount Kinabalu. This is one of the wettest places on Earth, with some parts of the island receiving up to 7 meters in a year. Plentiful water, intense equatorial heat, and fertile volcanic soils have created a jungle unrivaled in its richness. There's always abundant fresh vegetation for the forest residents to feed on, and they themselves play a key role in maintaining all this abundance. Borneo's elephants are amongst the most important seed dispersers on the island. These herbivorous giants will hoover up over 150 kilos of vegetation each day, almost the weight of a newborn calf. And they aren't fussy eaters, consuming over 200 different species of plant. Figs are also a tasty treat, but nothing beats one freshly picked from the tree. It's lucky some of the other forest residents have a sharing streak. They might seem like giants, but actually these pygmy elephants are the smallest elephants in the world, standing almost a meter shorter than their Asian cousins. And they're found only here on the island of Borneo. Unlike other Asian elephants, these pygmies are a lot less aggressive, and they've got a comical, almost childlike look about them. Their faces are rounder, their ears are bigger, and their tails almost reach the ground. All of this feeding is thirsty work. A dip in the river proves irresistible. They can cool down, quench their thirst, and even the mud has its benefits, providing calcium to keep their tusks and bones healthy. Led by a matriarch, pygmy elephants have strong family bonds, and it's not surprising as they can live up to 60 years in the wild. By 10 years of age, male pygmy elephants start to become sexually active. A mature bull has to reprimand this feisty youngster. A problem, because males seek out only the largest females, as it's their young that